Hello, hello. This is Dee from the Fishing Gardeners. Back out in our garden back here. And I'm going to show you some trees that I basically ignore. And they still survive regardless. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see that, but that's the white mulberry. So, basically, since I've had her, I have chopped her because I'm trying to get her straight up. She tends to lean and go wiry, and I prefer them to be up and not growing mulberries on the ground. Ooh, that's a scary one. What's in here? Let's check this out, Joe. Look at that. So yeah, it's in there trying to get the mulberries probably. Also, the Barbados cherries. It's another set of, I'd actually call these, what can we call these? I mean, they're more of a bush type. This is another fruit tree that I ignore. Whether it's cold, hot, I just basically ignore it and it go ahead and does what it needs to do. So that's another tree I ignore. And let's come around here. Another tree I ignore, and that is the red lime. And look, still putting out limes. I've taken a lot off and it still has limes on it. So I ignore that. I also ignore the strawberry guavas. I ignore those so much that I didn't even know it had grown guavas. Thank goodness my hubby happened to see it, but I ignored those. Also, that's the strawberry guava. Another one I ignore is the moringa. Now, I actually have two moringas, right? So I have chopped this down over and over again so it could spring out more than go straight up. And this is the one that I thought died, this moringa. It's quite humid outside today in Central Florida. Look how tall it is. So I'm going to go ahead and chop it down in the spring again. In case you want to know what this is right here, of course, that is the ice cream bean tree. I mean, I gave her a good chop and she just came right back out. So that's another one that I actually ignore and really don't pay much attention to as far as just dealing with it. Other than chopping the mulberry trees, look at this mulberry, I ignore these two. This one right here, I was protecting it in the summertime because it didn't seem to like all that sun. And as soon as the spiders and stuff, goodness gracious, as soon as all of the, I get a chance to see that. As soon as all of the hot weather left rather, it started flourishing. There's another mulberry. It's just a Shangri-La. So she didn't do much of nothing this summer. And all of a sudden, look at her. Yep, mulberries all over. So this is another one that I ignore. Low quat. That's another one I don't really pay attention to much at all. I mean, to be truthful, I prefer to actually just have trees that can just manage on their own. I have a neighbor that ignores all her trees and doesn't water them or anything. And some type of way it survives. It doesn't matter how hot it is. They always find a way to survive for fruit trees. Because you got the Pakistanian. Now, the Pakistanian we have been shaping because as you can see how the tree comes all the way out. So we're trying to shape that more into a shade tree. All right, let's go to some over here. Okay, so we got the beautiful miracle fruit. Now, I do ignore the miracle fruit, other than grabbing the berries. Like, here's one right here. There's still berries coming on it. So I don't do much of anything to it. We have another low quat right there. And then as we swing around here, another ones I forget and don't pay much attention to is my job at Jakarta's. I mean, they get their water. I don't know. They just sitting in that corner and they're growing. So, you know, they're doing what they need to do. So, yeah, those are a couple of the trees that I put out. And I just call these low maintenance trees because I really don't have to be bothered with them much. Now, I'm going to tell you one tree I will be most likely taking out this spring. And that'll be this Kefir pear. Because this one just keeps getting all type of diseases. So I'm going to take that out and put that Scarlet Beauty in there in the spring. I'm not going to do nothing now. But that's what I'm going to do. And another one, which, also, blueberries. I actually ignore those too. I give them a little bit of, what do you call that, acidifier in the spring. And then I just basically forget about them. And they're doing wonderful. Wonderful. So another one that I ignore as far as doing much too, but it continues to produce fruit, is the papaya. It just continues to put a lot of fruit in. So yeah, basically, that is the trees I ignore, and of course my, stone fruit trees and persimmons, because they just do what they do. So I like easy gardening, and like lots of fruit. So you may want to check out some of these trees, so that you especially if you don't, you have limited time to sit around and play with the trees. You probably want to check out some of these trees. You don't have to do too much to them. And the last but not least is my meatball collection. And I have about 7 of those. Okay, hopefully you found this video very informative. And I'm hoping you are enjoying your day. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.